Okay, so this is week one, quarter two, math 7 on geometry. All right, so one of the things that you can't assume about this figure. One thing is you can't assume because it doesn't have like a right angle here, angle KJO is equal to 90 degrees, which is a right angle. That's one thing. Even though it kind of looks like it, right? Sure. Another thing you can't assume is that angle MJO is a straight angle, which is equal to 180 degrees. So those are the two things. Because the easiest thing to think about is, like, remember, straight angle looks like a straight line, right? But you can't assume that if you don't know that, right? Because this could be 179 degrees. And you can't assume that this angle right here is a right angle. You can't assume that. No.
Promise I'll do my work.
No.
You care about my work?
Okay. KJO, grab a highlighter. So KJO is this angle right here, okay? If KJO is 87 degrees, so it's saying this angle right here is 87 degrees. So that's not 90. It's close to 90, but it's not 90. And JL, so here's JL, and you need to highlight all the things they tell you. JL bisects MJK. So that means this angle is equal to this angle, okay? Because it bisects, right? What is angle MJL? MJL. Okay, we're going to assume that angle MJO is a straight angle, right? So then 180 degrees minus 87 degrees is equal to what? 180 minus 87, which is angle NJK, is going to give you angle MJK. So what's 180 minus 87? What do you want?
93.
Yeah. And then since this bisects that, 93 divided by 2 is going to give you angle MJL. So what's 93 divided by 2? Here, grab a calculator. Okay. Hold on. Ask your dad to help you, please. Thank you. Okay. We'll make sure it's Go ahead and put that in there. Put it.
46.5
degrees, right? Which is an acute angle, and that does look like an acute angle. So what is it? You have enough. 43.5.
Yeah.
10. Next one. If KJL, so let me erase the whole way. Fellas, can you make sure Quinton has his uniform too? If KJO right here is 81 degrees, and NJO is 36. So that's 36. Find the measurement of all the other angles. Okay. If this angle here is 36, you see how these two angles are vertical angles in block right there? So that angle is 36, this angle is 36. Do you see that?
Mm.
You know that this right here is a straight angle, right? So you could say that angles, well, one of the angles that we need to figure out is this angle here, right? What's that angle? Measurement angle MJL, correct? Is equal to 836 degrees. Another angle is this angle right here, right? That angle is LJK is equal to straight angle 180 minus 36 minus 81. So subtract that. That'll give you that angle. No, I'm not doing that.
Don't you care about my work? Don't you care about it?
Number 5.
I want to see. Let's see.
Okay, I'm sorry, Paige.
You're almost
on the line. Don't hear that.
her dress wait, got behind my foot or something. I don't know.
What's her doing?
Her dress is cute.
It's not a big deal.
Her dress is like wrapping paper glued to each other.
It looks very pretty. All right.
No,
Here we go. So L and M. Here's L. Here's M. Where's your transversal?
The purple one.
Yeah, that's your transversal. Name the angles and their relationships. Okay, give me at least one. These are the angles that are equal. What's the first one that we talked about? Go look at your notes. You should be able to do this one. You have all these in your notes.
Interior.
What kind of angles are those? That's one. What else?
3 and 6.
Okay, number 2. What's another one?
Exterior, alternate exterior.
Write it down. Which one are those?
2 and 7.
Okay, what else?
8.
Okay, what's the next one? What's the third one? What other angles are equal?
Corresponding.
Corresponding angles. Those are angles like 1 and 5. What else?
A 2 and 6.
What else?
3 and 5. Or no.
Yeah. Or no, 1 and 5. Go, write it down. What's the next one? And I think that's all there is for okay, and then angles are add up to 180 degrees. Those are consecutive interior angles. So she said you didn't do a very good job. What? Oh, this what? Oh, hold on. This is backwards. Hold on.
Imagine having it backwards.
Okay, fine. Hold on.
Imagine having it backwards.
I'm gonna call it. It's coming. It's already coming. Here, put this on. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. If angle 6, this is angle 6, is 36, then follow the other angles. Okay, so you're gonna find angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, Angle 6 is 36, right? Well, what creates a straight line with 36? Well, before I even do that, do you see the corresponding angles right here? So what's angle 2 then? Okay. 2 and 3 are what kind of angles?
Those the
When we look for the axis, what do we call those? Good. They're equal, right? Vertical angles. So then you know that that's 36. Okay. What corresponds to angle 3? What corresponds to angle 3?
um uh 7.
7. So that's 36, right? Okay. What is supplementary to 30 or to angle 7? Supplementary to angle 37 or angle 7.
Hold on, let me write down 8 because
Yeah.
okay, so 7 supplement. Eight.
I know, but that's good. So 8 is 180 minus 36, right?
Yeah.
Which is what? You want these off? Yeah.
$144.
We need to get the clippy to get that out of the way. Don't point out, please. That's fine.
No, why'd you get rid of the scrunchies?
Doesn't want it. What 100 what?
I don't have it.
144. Okay. So then, okay. So if angle 8 is 144, what is vertical to angle 8? Vertical.
It's 5.
Good. So that's 144. Okay. So if this is 144, what corresponds to 5?
4. 1.
1. That's 144. What is vertical to 1?
4.
So what is that? There you go. See, name an angle relation that justifies L is parallel to M. You could say that since what do you need? I can't take those up. They have to be on there.
That's a no, let it go.
Since we alternate exterior angles, and what are alternate exterior angles? Which one are those?
2 and 7.
2 is equal to angle 7, and angles 1 is equal to angle 8, which is equal to 144 degrees, right? L is parallel to M. She wants you to do the converse, inverse, and contrapositive. Did she even bother telling what they are?
Oh, I'm afraid.
Oh, she'll get over it. She'll get over it. Okay. So read the question again for me. What does it say? No. What is it? Converse?
Right,
Inverse?
converse, inverse, and
Contrapositive.
okay. And determine whether each is true or false.
Okay. So you need to copy this down in your notebook, in your math notebook. So write converse, inverse, contrapositive. Because she needs to give you notes for this. Like she can't just expect you to know how to do this. It's ridiculous.
You just on the do now, and that's kind of like notes, but it's not enough. Like do nows are not enough to like type this out and understand.
Okay. I'm gonna pause the video right now. Okay, so if two angles are complementary, then they are congruent. So in geometry, you always have P and Q, okay? So what's the first part of the statement?
In the statement, if two angles are complementary,
Okay,
then they
yeah, you can stop right now. The first part is right there. That's the first part, okay? This part right here, it's before the then, okay? This is P. Do you understand? So P is if two angles are complementary, okay?
Yeah.
After then, this is Q. Then they are congruent, okay? Converse, it's if Q, then P. No, hold on. You have to write the statement, okay? This part here is saying if P, then Q. If the two angles are complementary, that's P, correct? Then Q, they're congruent, right?
Yeah.
Converse is if Q, then P. Do you see how this is now reversed? It's opposite of if P, then Q. Because if Q, then P. So then I'm going to reword this if, what's Q?
Complementary.
No, if Q, then P. What is the Q statement? Q is equal to what? No. Complementary. If the angles are complementary, that is Q. Do you see how that's P right there? Q is their congruent. So here, converse is if Q, then P. So what is Q? No! Oh my gosh, fucking A, Jesus Christ.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Q, they are congruent. That is Q. You see that? If Q. So what do you say about Q? What is Q? You say if they are congruent. You see that? Then P. What is P again? No, not complementary. Two angles are complementary. You need to write it word for word. You understand me? If Q, then P. Write that down first. Quentin, you still have your science and your narrative. You need to finish that, please. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go ahead and replace Q and P. So if Q, if, what is Q again? They are congruent. If they are congruent, then what? Then P. And what is P again? Angles are complementary. You got to get the P and the Q correct. Do you understand? And determine if each is true or false. Okay. So if they are congruent, then they are complementary. Is that true or false?
False.
It is false. If they're congruent, they could be acute angles, they could be obtuse angles, they could be straight angles. They don't have to be complementary. Complementary means that they add up to 90, right? So this is give a counterexample. So on the bottom, in the right, counterexample. In order to make it complementary, how can we make that true? If two angles are what? What's the definition of complementary? Okay. If two angles add up to 90 degrees, then what? They are complementary. Give you guys a lot of homework today, this week. It's like a crap load of homework. Inverse. What does inverse say that you copied down for your notes?
If not P, then not Q.
Great. So then you put if not P, then not Q. So all you have to do is just write down if not, and what is the P statement? The P statement is what now?
No,
What's
two.
P? So it doesn't make any sense here. If not two angles are complementary, you can say if two angles are not complementary. Do you see that just reword it a little bit? Okay. So if two angles are not, make sure you have the word not in there, complementary, then, and make sure there's a then there, then, and then it's Q, right? What's Q? Good job. Then they are not congruent. All right, is that true or false? If two angles are not complementary. So if they're not complementary, that means they could be 40 or 80, right? Because that's not complementary. Then they are not congruent. Well, that's not true because I could do 80 and 80, right? Because they're not complementary, but they're congruent, right? So how can I make this? So this is false. Do you understand why? I understand, but I understand why though. So now to come up with a counter example. Counter example. So what's your counter? If two angles are not complementary, then what could it be? If two angles are not complementary, then let's see. So if two angles, you can say if two angles are complementary, then yeah, then they aren't acute angles. Now, it has to be true because they have to be acute, right? Because acute is less than 90, right? So complementary means they add up to 90. So they can't be obtuse because the one angle is 100 and that's already not acute. Does that make sense? So that could be your counterpoint. All right. Contrapositive. What is a contrapositive? What's the note on that one?
If not Q, then not P.
If not Q, then not P. You need to write that down and here as well. I really feel like for squishing all of this information into one is crazy. Like normally when I taught geometry, this would have taken like at least a week minimum.
Like you have already established.
I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Definitely knew a role without knowing anything of like any previous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit daunting. Stop it. I don't want to hear that. All right. If not, so how would you rewrite it? If not, what's Q? Or what congruent? Not congruent. If not, what? If two angles are not congruent, you gotta rewrite it and make sense. If two angles are not congruent, then they are not what? Not what? Complementary? True or false? Yeah, they're kind of trying to make sense of it though. That's true or false?
True?
Now, you gotta make sense of it. You gotta think about it and make sense of it, Jason. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I haven't looked at it yet. If two angles are not complementary, they don't add up to 90, right?
Okay.
So that could be like a 40-degree angle. And a 30-degree angle would be complementary, correct? But what if this was 60? I added 100. So it's not complementary, right? They're not a true angle. So that's a Q and that's a Q. And guess what? These are not, so this is false. Do you see why? So what's your counter example? Okay.
What you just went right there.
No. You know, come up with one. No, if two angles, oh, this is false right here. This goes here.
Yeah.
No. If two angles are not congruent, mm, well, you could say something like, if two angles are congruent, I'll just put are congruent. They let's put complementary. If two angles are complementary, no, a complementary. You know how the last one I said, well, they are not
Yeah.
not acute angles, or they are acute angles? We're gonna say they are not obtuse angles. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they can't be obtuse angles. If they're complementary, they have to be acute angles, right? Exactly. All right, cool. We're done. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That was long.
Why don't you get formings for flowers of algons